Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Ryan and I's discussion of Queens of the Stone Age. If you haven't checked out the albums video, please do. I think we did a pretty good job talking through all the albums. We're quite a bit longer than we usually do for a discography this long, but yeah, go check that out. And we're going to be counting down our top 10 songs. Ryan, you will be going first. So hit me up with your number 10.
Okay, my number 10, just snuck on the list. I'll be honest, only song from this album, the debut album, it's Mexicola. This song, yes, I just love it. It's one that I kind of rediscovered going back. And also got a really good video doing this live. The Basement, there's obviously the Radiohead, did the Basement sessions. Quince did the same thing. Not as popular, but still very good. And they did this song, I was like, wow, this song it's unreal, so heavy, it slaps. The bass is crazy at the start, and when the guitars and vocals come in, this hit so hard. And especially Tommy's vocals around this time, he's not quite got his singing style full on. So a lot very youthful vocal, I think. And yeah, song slaps. Song really does slap.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I do like the Radiohead and the PJ Harvey Basement tapes and the Fleet Foxes one, but I've never seen the Queens of Stone Age one, so I'll have to do that. My number 10, this was a really hard list to make. Like I said, I enjoyed this more than I expected, so there are a lot of tough cuts that I'll reveal at the end of the video. But my number 10 is Make It With You from Era Vulgaris. One of the most melodic songs. Love that slow, hypnotic driving rhythm. The lo-fi guitar sound fits the song really well. And it's really unique within their discography. Again, I will point out the version with PJ Harvey that they did, which is really cool. But yeah, that's my number 10, Make It With You. Just beat out a couple other really good ones.
Very nice. Yeah, number 9, from Lullabies to Paralyze, it is Little Sister. Yeah, radio ready. Amazing little rocker. Just a little gem. So catchy. The riff, very riff based song. The riffs are unreal on this one, and I love the outro, the guitar solo outro. Just love it. It's just so catchy, memorable. Rocker.
It's really hard to say things about these songs because I was saying this to someone the other night. It's like when I was writing my notes for these songs, I was just like, I just like the song. My number 9 is from my number 1 album, Rated R. Obviously, will not be the last song from this album, and it's going to be In the Fade. Love this song so much. Lead guitar tone is so satisfying. It is throughout this album, but especially on this song. Has a great dark atmosphere, and Mark Lanegan sings it so perfectly, especially that sort of live till you die. Oh my god, yeah, so good. So dark and yeah, very grungy and just really cool. Like this could probably pass as like a an Alice in Chains song or something, which is probably part of the reason why I love it so much. So, In the Fade's my number 9.
Very nice. Yeah, my number 8, also from Rated R, is not In the Fade, however, it's Autopilot, which you probably have on your list later on. Nicola Berry, yeah, great singing. And I think it just works, especially for the song, because he's not quite as clean as Josh Homme's voice. It just works really well for the song, as it is quite that choke feel, the stoner rock feel, and yeah, like a bit of a slacker feel. I think you mentioned the video is really nice. The drum works are really nice. The guitar, it's just wild over the top. It's just screaming guitars over the top, which I love, and the acoustic section brilliant as well. Yeah, really just enjoyable song.
My number 8 is from your number 1, Songs for the Deaf, and I've gone for First It Giveth, which is, oh my god, like that chorus is an instant hook. It's so good. Immediately memorable from the first listen. The guitar riff is almost like metal like in the verses, which sort of contrasts with Hommy's soft falsetto, which is just so pretty. Um, and then yeah, the chorus just comes slamming in unapologetically. Like, yeah, it's awesome. It's definitely one of my favorite songs for the deaf.
Very nice. Yeah, my number 7, Sticking with Songs for the Deaf. Um, it's the opener, Millionaire, uh, which I absolutely love. I love the intro to it. Clover Radio, Ella's Infinite Repeat, kind of having a dig at the radio there. And it's just wild. It's just such a crazy song. It's one, maybe it shouldn't make my top 10, but I just love the vocals on it so much. Oliver just going crazy. And the riffs on it are just absolutely wild. Obviously, when they do it live these days, not quite the same, just singing. But yeah, still such a good song that you can't have in a set list, I think. I love the bit at the end, towards the end, where the pause, back in screaming. So yeah, absolutely love that one.
Have you seen them live or not?
No, I've got tickets to see them.
Oh,
I
nice.
will.
But when is that?
November in Manchester.
Oh, nice. Very nice. My number 7 is, for the 4th spot in a row, it's a different album. So I haven't repeated an album yet. I'm going for, from Villains, it is Feet Don't Fail Me, which I mentioned absolutely loving. I think it's an epic way to kickstart the album. Really takes its time with the sort of slow chugging and eventually the sort of synth part, which really reminds me of like Bowie's album Low, that sort of similar synth sound. Then nearly 2 minutes in, after all this atmosphere builds up, the filthiest of grooves kicks in. And again, that line, 1 foot in the gutter, one in the clouds, is so awesome. I just love that. Love the guitar riffs throughout, so snappy and gritty. And then it quiets down with the echoed vocals, sort of bring it back to the intense finish at the end. So I think it's a brilliant album opener and definitely one of the more underrated tracks. 5, 6, and 7, I was really tossing over because my top 4 were all songs I knew already, whereas 5, 6, and 7 were basically my favorite new discoveries, and I was flipping them around, and that's kind of how it landed at number 7. Could have easily been at number 5. Feet Don't Fail Me.
Very nice. My number 6, from Like Clockwork, I've got Smooth Sailing. It's just irresistible groove on it, really. And it's one of them songs that I do quite often where it's all over the place. The vocals are very dramatic, just all over the shop, but in a good way. I don't know how Queens do it so often, but they do these like kind of messy songs with all these different parts, really crazy grooves like this one. But somehow they blend it together so well. And that's what they do perfectly in this one, and especially that breakdown guitar solo. It's probably my favourite bit of the song. I absolutely love that. Stops it being just a generic kind of groove song. It's got these different sections which keep it interesting, and yeah, can't not nod your head to this one. My number 6.
The guitar solos on all of that album are filthy. Yeah. My number 6 is also from Like Clockwork, so a 5th different album already for me. It's weird how it's worked out like this. I said it was a new discovery. It's not really a new discovery, but it's a song I have a new appreciation for, and it is I Appear Missing. This is just incredible. The most passionate vocal you'll find in the entire discography, in my opinion. The chorus is so powerful. I was saying to Ryan, it was stuck in my head while we were recording the albums video, and I was trying to figure out what song it was, and it was this. They do a great job of contrasting between the laid-back, low-key verses and that big, sort of powerful chorus. It really conveys the sort of desperation feeling really well, and the guitar solo near the end is just bonkers. It's so good. And yeah, absolute gem of a song. I Appear Missing is my number 6. Love it.
Very nice. Well, my number 5, Like Clockwork. Again, it's I Appear Missing. So there we are. And yeah, it is probably the most passionate vocal performance. I can agree with that. It's about that near-death experience he had before, Like Clockwork, when he was bedridden, very, downbeat, depressed. So that's why the passion is there so much. And yeah, great dynamics. The quiet section's beautiful, and the loud sections have to really hit really hard. And yeah, what a song it is. The guitars are amazing, especially. But the bass and drums as well are brilliant as well. But yeah, they're beautiful, and it hits really hard as well. That's what I like about it so much.
Yeah, for sure. My number 5 another different album, Lullabies to Paralyze. Yeah, and it is my favorite song from that album, Tangled Up in Plaid, or Played. I mean, apparently both pronunciations are correct, but I'm going to say Plaid because whatever. Um, it's. I think this album. I don't know if you agree with this. It's more that it's really consistent rather than having consistent high highs like Songs for the Deaf and Rated R have. It's more that it's just all really great. I think this song is the exception for me. I love the sort of piano that goes throughout the whole song. Really cool. Such an eerie gothic vibe. Hommy's falsetto never sounded better than when he's singing those. Ooh, yeah. It's like, oh my God, so good. And the chorus is an absolute win. Those biting guitar stabs are so cool. And after the second chorus, you get a lovely sort of high pitched guitar solo, which just cuts right through my soul. Yeah, one of their best tracks for sure. Another one, maybe a little bit underrated, maybe, but I love it as much as their top classic songs. I'm getting these underrated ones out of the way because my top four are very basic.
Yeah, I'm in the top four now. You probably got this one as well. The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret from Rated R. It's one of their classic ones, and yeah, the riff at the start is instantly bam, recognizable. You know what the song is, but then that chorus, wow, hits really hard, so catchy, great vocals on it. Yeah, once again breakdowns with guitars, and then back in the chorus, like always on these Queens of Stone Age songs. Yeah, ready for a radio one, but still very unique to their sound and style, which I really like.
Yep, finally, I have a repeat album. My number four is from my number one album, Rated R, and it is Feel Good Hit of the Summer. I don't care. It's awesome. It's so good. It's so simple and so sort of punky. And I think people do put it down in comparison to their other big songs, but I just think it is irresistible. Hommy's vocals are so full of character and it just rips the nicotine, Valium, Vicodin, marijuana, ecstasy, and alcohol. And then the way he delivers the cocaine, it's like, oh my God. It's again, it's really silly, but at the same time, it is so good. And they like reprise it a couple times. I think at the end of In the Fade, and then they do
Yeah,
at the end of Songs for the Deaf as well. So it's definitely a song that they think highly of as well. So yeah, I just love it. I can never get enough of it, and it's an incredible album opener. Just throws you into it straight away.
nice, lovely. Um, yeah, my number three from Songs for the Deaf. Their biggest song, No One Knows. It's hard to resist it. I'm still not bored of it. I've heard it so many times. And especially the drums on this one. Dave Grohl on the drums. These drums, it's one of them songs you get the air drums out for, which really isn't that many. Normally get the air guitar, but the air drums on this one are coming out because they are so good. And the riff is just so much fun, so catchy. One of them riffs you kind of sing along to, like that. Yeah, and once again, brilliant breakdown where it's just the bass and the whispered vocals, and then this massive crazy spiral section where the drums and everything kicks up, and then back to that riff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great song.
Very nice. I mean, that hasn't made my list, but that kind of speaks more to how great the discography is, really. My number three is also from Rated R. It is The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret, which the first two songs from Rated R right back to back on this list. It's always been one of my favorites. You said the intro, the guitar chugging along with that lovely little lick at the end of the chord sequence. So good. Another great vocal. It's a pretty relatable song. But again, very simple lyrically, but works really well. And yeah, that chorus is it's great. It's a really great vocal and simple, but works really well. So Lost Art of Keeping a Secret is my number three.
Very nice. My number two. Definitely the biggest climber for Queens for me. From Rated R, it's In the Fade. And yeah, like you said before, the guitars sound so nice in both kind of different sections. The chill parts and the loud parts sound so nice. But yeah, it's Matt Lanigan's vocals, especially in that "Live Till You Die" part. They're wild. They're wild and absolutely brilliant. So I just want to check out more Screaming Trees for sure. But yeah, everything's so tight on this song. It just sounds absolutely lovely. Got some really nice lyrics as well. My number two from Radar, In the Fade.
We'll do a Screaming Trees episode at some point for sure. We both need to get on that. My number two is from my number two album, Songs for the Deaf. It is Go with the Flow, all-time great rock song. Great. I think they do this a lot, is using the piano as a percussive instrument rather than a melodic one, where it's just like setting the backbone of the song. I talked about that with Tangled Up in Plaid, and it's the same here. One of the most iconic and lasting songs for a reason. That chorus is another instant win. I think I kind of slept on how good they were at writing hooks. Like, there's so many catchy songs in this discography, which not all of them are immediately catchy, but they kind of grow on you, and the melodies sort of get stuck in your head after hearing them a few times. As always, the song is painted perfectly by these brushes of guitar texture, which just fill out the mix really nicely. And yeah, above all else, it's like a really catchy, radio-friendly song that's irresistible, and it's easy to put on whatever your mood is. So yeah, Go with the Flow, my number two.
Very nice, very nice. Well, it didn't make my list, that one. Bit of a shame, really. It's such a good song. But number one, I've gone from Songs for the Deaf album. I've gone Songs for the Dead. Is my number one, and it has been quite some time, really. Now, it's just it's probably one of my favorite songs ever. It's such a good rocker. The band is so tight. The backing vocals from Josh Homme works so well with Mark on lead. So my top two, both Matt Lanigan lead vocals, is interesting. But yeah, he's such a good singer. And I love the stop-start nature of the song, with them wild guitars when it stops and starts. It's so loud, and it goes just that one guitar squealing. And once again, one of them songs with that super fast outro, kind of like I think I Lost My Headache, and there's a few songs like that. Where they do a super fast outro, and yeah, it's such a good, heavy, wild song. Absolutely love it. The band is so tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Lanigan keeps winning. My number one is also not a Josh Homme song, and you know what's coming. Autopilot from Rated R. It was only ever going to be this one, really. One of my favorite riffs opens the song, and again, those soaring, like squealing guitar notes throughout the song. Oh my god, it's so cool, so unique and awesome. It has this sort of like dingy urban feel from like a '90s crime film or something. You hear it and you're imagining like these sort of raining night streets, and it's so cool. The chorus is awesome, and the guitar lines sort of, they're squealing as if, we talked about this in the television episode, as if like one of the strings is going to snap. That's kind of like so intense. And it's just an absolutely phenomenal achievement, and sort of the epitome of like two or three completely different ideas that are fairly simple, but putting them together into one song works so perfectly. And part of the reason why I love this era of the band, from Rated R to Lullabies, is that it wasn't just a Josh Homme vehicle, right? You had these voices. I know Nick Oliveri wasn't on Lullabies, but Mark Lanigan was there, right? And it's like you had these multiple perspectives of different songwriters contributing and making these really interesting songs. So yeah, it's great. The acoustic part is great. It's so different to all the other Nick Oliveri songs, and I love it for that reason, really. So that's my number one. And there we are, Queens of the Stone Age done. That was really fun. I really enjoyed going through the discography. Took our time, as we always do. I'm giving you a warning, Ryan. I'm not going to be this slow on the replacements, because I've been waiting to do this one for a while.
I'll have to step it up.
I might be bombing through that one. We'll see, though. We'll see. Let us know what your favorite Queens of the Stone Age songs are. If you have a list, we'd love to see it down below, or just what your favorite song is. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't. Plenty more stuff to be coming out. Hopefully in the next month, Ryan and I will be tackling the replacements, but I wouldn't put money on it. And 1973 is next, I think, songs, and then we'll be heading on to 1974 in the Albums and Songs of the Year series. Sam will be back on the channel soon. Loads of stuff to look forward to, and yeah, stay here for all the music discussion. And thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, we'll catch you soon.